Hey y'all, Quabila Jones here, host of the Q Spot podcast. Make sure to be intentional with your words, your thoughts, and your actions. And please subscribe, like, follow, share, and hit the notification bell. All right, y'all. This is QB, host of the Q Spot podcast. Welcome back to another edition, video series edition. And I have a very special guest with me. All my guests are very special, but I have another very special guest, Mr. Jason Brooks. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. How about yourself?
I'm wonderful. It's been a while since we had a chat, and so we were long overdue for another
Yes,
chit
we are.
chat.
We are. We are. It's been a while.
Yes, sir. And so today we're going to be talking all about your company and, just what you're out here doing in the name of sports and just life in general. And so before we get too deep into what's happening now, we're going to first get to know Jason. We're going to start there. We're just going to get to know Jason. So go ahead. Tell people who Jason is.
Jason Brooks. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. Came to Jonesboro to attend Arkansas State University back in 2004, the spring semester as a track and field athlete.
Okay.
Finished up my bachelor's in 2006 and began working for the university full time in 2007 as an assistant coach. And
Okay.
let's see, got my master's in 2014 in sports administration and got married at the same time. My beautiful,
Uh,
lovely wife, she's an alum of Arkansas State as well. We have three wonderful children, two girls and a boy. Uh, I worked at the university up until 2018 in multiple roles in academic affairs and athletic affairs. I've been an instructor, been an advisor, um, ran the learning support services for a while. So, like a lot of academic stuff behind me. And like I said, worked in coaching for multiple years, 10 plus years in higher ed. But
oh,
before that,
wow.
I coached over in Memphis for the Memphis Interscholastic Athletic Association, worked with the high schools a lot up until 2004 when I moved over here. So
Okay.
worked with multiple sports, you name it, I probably worked with it: football, basketball, track,
Wow.
baseball, soccer, tennis. It's a multitude. So
Just everything.
everything, just
Wow.
So
And so
kind of
for
just
those, huh?
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I said for those who may know Jason, and if you don't, he is still very active in his daily life. He's all about fitness, which we all should be about
Yes,
fitness in some aspect of our lives. But I mean, when I say active, like he's always on the go, and you can see him posted up at, some type of facility or in some workout gear, or he lives what he teaches. So it's not just for a photo op or whatever. It's not just for a talking point. Jason lives this. And so that's why I'm excited to have him so he can share with us, what he does and how it could benefit us. What can we get out of your business and programs that you have to offer? So let's talk about Take One. So what is Take One?
so Take One is a company my wife and I started roughly around 2018. As I was exiting campus life, higher ed, I started on my doctorate in psychology for performance psychology. So I wanted to get onto the mental side of fitness, which I think is a huge thing that's overlooked in our
Okay.
total wellness. Um, so when we got to doing this, we started working on how to combine mental and physical fitness together. And Take One stands for tenacity, adaptability, knowledge, and execution. And of course, we only have one life to live, so you may as well make it count while you got it.
Yes, sir, indeed. So I'm going to put the topic. Let me back up. I didn't even put the topic. Tell people the topic. We are talking about increasing performance on and off the field. So as Jason just mentioned, the mental aspect tied in with the physical aspect, it's going to help increase your performance in life on and off the field, whatever field that represent, it looks like for you. So
Mhm.
okay, put that on the bottom
There it
there.
is.
All right, so Take One. So you and your wife started this company, this program. And
Mhm.
so from the beginning, can you tell us what are some of the programs you offered? And then are you doing those same things? Have you upgraded or transitioned or give us some insight from then to now?
So in any business that you start yourself, you're gonna have a lot of growing pains. I don't like to call them growing pains because thinking of your mindset, I say growing moments, those stepping stones, as I like to say. So we everything we do incorporates the mental aspect of things. So physical fitness, I'm pretty well known for that due to my background. You know, I'm a former athlete and I've coached pretty much anything you can think of. And I'm going to try Quidditch, but anyway, so but the psychological part is something I really dove into, and with my my last degree being in psychology, it was a big part of that. And just looking at all the people that I've come in contact with over the years, whether they be dealing with burnout or just a mental block, or like what's their motivation, whether it be intrinsic or extrinsic, or why they lose their determination, why is the determination not as strong as it should be. So in our programs, everything includes the mental aspect of it. So whether you're an 8-year-old kid learning coordination, we give you the
Hmm.
proper words of affirmation with that, so you can actually like learn in a positive way. Now, a lot of people are familiar with the old school style of training and coaching athletes and everything, or even just anybody working on recreational fitness is go harder, dig.
Yes.
But what do those words mean? What do you mean by dig? Like saying words that actually have a true meaning behind them and really give some positive reinforcement to it. So we have certain programs launching right now with the company opening up the end of this month. There's the total package, which you're getting both, like I said, mental and physical aspect of it. You come in a certain amount of times a week, and every program is tailored to each person that comes in, whether you're with the team aspect or one on one, whether you're that high school athlete trying to get ready for college, or whether you're that local recreational person that wants to do road races. Uh,
Oh,
we have a lot of different programs, which we're also launching a road race series starting in the spring for everybody here in Jonesboro, Northeast Arkansas. Um,
you, you say road race, like running?
5Ks, whether you can walk or run them. Like, we have the St. Jude and
Hmm.
Heart and Soul, but those are just like one offs. So we're going to put together a series of those things to kind of increase like the just Jonesboro, get up and get moving. So
Okay.
you can walk them, you can jog them, you can run them, you can push a stroller, whatever it is. We just want to get this community up and moving. So,
Okay. That sounds like similar to a program that I follow called Girl Trek,
hmm,
and they tie in Black history into this their program, and the whole thing again is women and young girls getting up, moving, just move any way you can, walk around the block, get a team, go together. That was sent catered more towards women, but however, I really love your concept of let's just get moving.
yeah,
Let's say you have a family of two. It's just you and your spouse, you and your child. Let's get up and be healthy, be active, do something. Because what I have learned, the more physically, I hate to say fit because I'm not fit, but the more you work on your physical, the better your mental will
that's true.
be.
They go hand in hand. Because that's why we came with the acronym for Take One. It's like tenacity is just overcoming hardships, overcome rejection, that undying determination. Word I
Hmm.
like to think of is indomitable. Like you can't be subdued, like you can't be defeated, like mentally, and a will to go on. So the stronger the mind, the stronger the body. The body only does what the mind tells it. So, and that's surrounding yourself with the proper people, and also in our programs we give you those proper wordings, like a word bank of nothing but positivity. So there are mental sessions that we're doing as well as part of one. It's one of our programs. So, and it helps in all aspects of business, life, sport, recreational fitness, whatever. Taking the don'ts into do's, like with
Mm,
those words that hold you, and putting in words that grow you. So it's all
I
about growth.
like that. I like that. So recently, I've gotten into football.
Oh,
Many people may or may not know I'm in a rehab facility, and so
mhm,
I don't have a lot of family here. So one of my brothers, recently moved close, and so our weekend thing Saturday is a college football game,
mhm,
Sunday is NFL. And who would
mhm.
have thunk? I know I said thunk, uh, that I at 40 plus would get into football. Well, you know what? Got my glasses. I got my glasses on. I'm like, ooh.
It's infectious. It'll get you that energy.
And so I'm looking at like you said, determination, tenacity. I'm not good at sport because I would take my ball and go home. I'm that kind of it's like
Mhm.
I quit. I don't want to do this. But that is not a good that's not a good quality to have because it plays out into your real life,
Mhm.
no matter what job you have. So let's talk about that aspect of for those that do play sports. And so at some point you got to go back to your regular life. The time clock runs out, boom, you're
Mhm.
back in real life. But taking those disciplines, those when it takes discipline because your body has to move in a certain way on the field. And then okay, off the field you gotta be disciplined to go to work, get up, get
Mhm.
dressed, clean your all these different things. So kind of help us like tie all that in and understand how they're interlinked and whether you play sports or not, how the concepts are interlinked.
So this is actually what I'm writing my dissertation on, kind of similar.
Okay.
Athletic identity. I'm really studying that really in depth, and I like to focus on transitions because you can transition those skills that you learned in the playing field or court or whatever it is competition into your daily routine, your daily life, because you can't be an athlete forever on that level. Say for a collegiate athlete, you only get 4 years to compete, sometimes 5, but at some point you got to leave college.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do after that? How do you transition with those skills and let them translate into your daily life when you go off into the working world? And so that discipline that you hold yourself to on like scheduling and getting up at whatever time you have to get up for workouts, whatever time you got to go to class, proper nutrition, proper hydration, all those things throughout the day. And it's the same thing. It's like, okay, I have to make sure I check in with my boss at this time. I have to make sure I turn in that report at this time. This is due on this day. This is the day I do these. So scheduling, organization, you have to keep that same wheel, that same mindset. And that's what I think the A for take one comes in, adaptability. You take the
Adaptability.
things you have in like cognitive adaptability, that theory talks about just taking yourself and assimilating to every environment you come into. So what I learned from myself being an athlete, I used it when I was an instructor on campus.
Okay.
We had to be in class on time. So when I was teaching, I had to show up on time. I had to prepare for the lesson, so I read the syllabus as a student. When I became an instructor, I had to develop the syllabus and have it ready and have to read it myself in order to present
Yes.
to my students. So take one, we teach things through adaptability, and we look at the strengths and how can those correlate to something you want to do in life after sport is over. So you can always stay fit, but as a competitive athlete, at some point you leave those levels, and you have
Okay.
to put yourself into the world of other things.
All right. I love that. And then I want to talk about adaptability as from the aspect of your attitude. Again, I don't have the best attitude to play organized sports, but anyway.
You sound like my wife. You can't hear me
But
right
you
now.
have to have that self control, self
Yes.
discipline, because yes, fights break out. Yes, disagreements break out on the
Mm-hmm.
court field of whatever sport you
Mm-hmm.
play. But at some point, you have to say, okay, I'm a grown up. This is not worth it. I need to keep my head in the game. Like, I need to adapt and adjust and move on.
So
um,
that's going into your emotional control level.
okay.
So you have it's either you emotionally hijack or you emotionally you in control. So hijack is when your anger, fearfulness, aggression, it takes control of you. Like your emotion
Mhm.
best of you, and you just like, you know what, screw this, I'm done. I'm done with this. Versus, let me take a breath, let me stay logical, and let me think my way through this. Like in sport, like you look at the what's hot right now in the NBA, the Draymond Green. I don't know if you saw that. He sucked
Mhm.
punch one of his teammates, and that's an emotional hijack.
Okay.
And versus him emotionally being in control, saying, "Hey, let's talk." You can't let your anger control you, or you react to it. You have to, like be in control of it at all times. So your attitude is linked with your emotions and your level of control with those emotions. And so we do work on that a lot and teaching people how to like keep those emotions in check. And there's certain
Okay.
we go through visualization techniques, we go through breathing techniques, we go through simulation techniques, to like zone training techniques to like know how to handle emotions as they come at you.
Ah, all righty. So let's go ahead and keep it rolling and go through the K.
Okay. So the K stands for knowledge. And anything you do in life or whatever you do, and like you want to be great at something, you got to know what you're doing, know what it is. So for me, I wanted to go into the whole performance psychology thing. So I'm doing my doctorate in performance psychology.
Okay.
Pulled myself back from that full-time job that I was at because I knew I wanted to evolve into what I'm doing now. And my current job at Orange Theory Fitness has allowed me to travel around the country. I'm the current director of fitness for the state of Arkansas. So I go around and collaborate with different people, and I learn a lot about different people because I'm able to learn off of how to really work with multiple personalities. So it's
Okay.
one thing working in a college setting with it. And I knew I wanted to expand outside of that. So working with people, I work with different like lawyers, doctors, professors, um, man, anybody you can think of professionally, they're a member at Orange Theory because it's a global entity. And I get people from all over the world to come into these studios that I'm over, and I get to work with them, learn how to communicate with them. So knowledge is so huge for those who lack power or those who lack knowledge. Those who
Mm.
have power, those who have knowledge.
Okay.
That's the knowledge
Wow.
of it.
Alrighty. And so you're kind of faced with that. Oh, there's a scenario. Okay. I host other shows
Hmm.
and I do my research. I have my notes. That's me. And
Right.
there's always someone who wants to challenge.
Of course.
I feel challenge me because of their thought process.
Hmm.
And I don't like to criticize people because I don't know their full background
Hmm.
and they are coming from their experience. Most of us act out of or think out of our experiences,
Hmm.
connected with a little bit of the knowledge that we have. And so I try not to be too critical. However, this person seems to criticize, they seem to come from me. They come from me.
Hmm.
And I don't know what it is, but I'm like, I have my facts and figures. You can come all day. I'm not going to raise my voice though. Like, so
Hmm.
what is it when people constantly want to challenge you? Is it a sign? I don't want to, I hate to say it's a sign of their ignorance, or they just see something great in you and they just like, let me see how far I can push this person and knock them off their kilter. What is it?
That could vary. A lot of times they want to come for you, especially on social media. We live in a social media world, so it's easy for somebody to get on the keyboard and just come and attack you. The thing is, if that person doesn't truly know you, you have to keep your emotions in check. And if you don't have an emotional connection to that person, yes, they can come after your work, which is who you are for the most part. Like it's part of your identity because it's your work out there that they're attacking and trying to belittle or whatever. But how well does that person know you? How well does that person know your facts? They don't know your level of competence in the level of this subject you're talking about. They don't know you. Now, my emotions are not so somebody like that who doesn't know me, it won't bother me one bit. We can
Okay.
debate all day, but I refuse to argue. And I think debates increase my knowledge. I think they increase everybody's knowledge because somebody's going to bring something to the table that you don't know. I have a view in life is that the day you start learning is the day you start dying
Oh,
because
okay.
there's always something new to learn. So if I'm still breathing, there's still learning to be done. So I welcome those who challenge me because I may learn something from them. I look to learn, even if they are ignorant to what they're talking about. I'm going
Okay.
to learn that people who come from that view are really just being emotional. And that's why I go back to your level of emotional control. The EQ level is serious because are they being logical or are their words speaking with emotions?
Okay.
In a
And
debate, I need more logic than emotion because then the facts are out the window when your emotions are leading the conversation.
I might need to come to one of your classes. Oh, yeah.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome.
So when it comes to the fitness aspect, do you face people like that who try to tell you more than, like they try to tell you and think they know more than you when you're like, okay, hold on. I have a little experience in this, so let me tell you, and this is how you can do XYZ to better your body, mind, and
So I think I have the greatest poker face of anybody in the world. So, and they always, when they do come like that, they're like, Jason, they start to second guess it because I show no emotion. I just
Okay.
kind of, I listen and I listen to everybody, but it's just kind of how my facial expression is. I've been trained to do this since I was a kid. Um, Never let them know what you're thinking.
Okay.
And then when I started, like when I'm really into it, you can see me change. Like, oh, okay. So, but I like to hear everybody out, so I don't want them to think I'm into it or against it until they finish their statement.
Okay.
I don't want them to be influenced by my reaction. I really
Yeah.
like to hear a person out. I try to stay as neutral as possible, even if I think they're sounding very, 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 very ignorant. I'll let you say it all because you may have a nugget in there I can really pull from and go with that. But I've had several people in my, oh man, I've been doing this fitness thing since 1999, and I've come across several people who feel that they know more and they may have just started doing it 2 weeks ago. So,
Mm,
and as you know, the world works in trends, like especially in this social media day and age.
yes.
So I keep in mind of that. And I hear people say, I've been working out for 3 weeks and I still haven't seen this change. So I think I'm gonna try this new diet. I'm like, hey, it's gonna take more than that. How long did it take you to get to where you are? Like it took you longer than 3 weeks to get to the shape you're in. And you want to
Yes.
change it, it's gonna take more than 3 weeks to get there. So patience, but that's the knowledge that they lack in that
Okay.
too. So that's why the K is so important. You got to have knowledge of like any goal you have in life. You got to really know what it's about versus saying, "Oh, I want to do this because I saw it on TV or something." So yeah,
Mhm.
I've gotten people to come at me about things and throw their opinion. So I hear them out, and after I hear them out, if they want to know my view, I give it. If they don't, I won't. So
Okay. All righty. And before we go on to the E, I want to ask this one question. Do you try to get people? No, I've tried to ask this question to somebody before, and I don't think I really got an answer. It may not be an answer, but if you are trying to better your body, say
mhm.
through eating and exercise, diet and exercise, and I hate the word diet, nutrition and exercise, but your mindset is like, I don't really want to do this. Like, if your mindset doesn't match what you're trying to do, you know, can your body kind of fall into a stale, like a stalled period, like
Yes,
um, yeah,
that's the answer. The answer is yes. There's an
okay,
answer to that question. It's yes because um, total wellness is not just nutrition and physical; it's mental as well. I'm glad to know that the world is like, especially America, is big on mental health now, and everybody's kind of aware of mental health. It's been around for a long time, but it's just I'm glad it's now acknowledged, and it's
yeah,
recognized. It's okay for men to go out and show their emotions and talk it out. It's okay for ladies to wear what they want to wear. You don't have to look like a Barbie doll. It's okay because fitness doesn't have an image. It's not a total of one shot like image of what you're supposed to look like as a fit person. Fitness is relative to that individual
okay,
because there's genetics and stuff that play a factor, lifestyle, a lot of different things. Like you could have a certain like genetic defect that another person doesn't have,
okay,
so but you could be fit in your own way.
okay,
So fitness is relative to the person. And the mental part, you got to have that same attitude about your mental side as you do your physical and your nutritional side. So like
okay.
nutritional wellness is something we're going to offer start at the first of the year as well. It's like we're going to start doing the whole diet plans and stuff. So I'm always learning and going through like different things. So I'm expanding myself and getting those certifications as well. So
Alrighty.
that's my third part I got to add. So
I might have to check into that class because now, because of the condition that I have, it, causes a lot of issues. But
yeah,
I know that by altering the things that I eat and drink, can help. It
yes,
doesn't cure, but it can help. And so I've been trying to do more fresh, versus processed. And unfortunately, due to space, I have to do more powdered supplements. But I try to still get like frozen vegetables and fresh fruits, and I have a little mini blender, and I just go for what I know, So
yeah,
I'm trying to do my best. I'm trying to use things that are 100% whatever they are, like powdered carrots, or powdered beets, or powder. It's
hmm,
not the same as the real, but it gets the job done nonetheless.
right.
So I'm trying to make changes where I can, and I drink more water. Drinking more
It
water.
makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah. So I'm gonna learn. I'm a work in progress, y'all. So just bear with me here.
We all are. We all are. Day by day.
Yes, sir. All right. So let's go on to the E.
Okay, so execution. In life, we plan all day. We can make all
Yeah.
the roadmaps we want. We can have the vision boards. You can put your goals up on a screen, you can put them up on a wall, but until you execute it, it doesn't matter. And you got to have that fortitude to go out there and get it done. So what are your triggers to make you your motivate, like to make your motives be actions? So what are your motive actions? So
Okay.
what motivates you to activate yourself? So what trigger words do you have? Because until you put action behind the words, it's just words,
Yes.
and that's where we
I'm
go
guilty of that.
the positive like affirmation for me is like the relationships you have, the emotional control. The ERA is what I call it. Is I have other programs that I coach coaches and give them a certificate that I've created off of emotion, relationship, and affirmation. Is you
Okay.
got to have that emotional understanding to know how to reach that person and create a relationship to give them that affirmation for them to go forth and be successful.
Okay. That is so awesome. I can imagine. So, okay. Can you give us some insight into people that have already come through your program? Of course, without giving away their identity, and
Okay.
share some of the feedback you've gotten, the things you've observed. Um, just have they enjoyed it? What was the hardest part for them? How they overcome? Just whatever you can share without giving away anyone's identity.
Okay. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I have 100% all my people like, oh, I loved it. I've had a few people that it didn't work for, and that may be between like me and them, like we didn't understand each other.
Okay.
Uh, a couple that I know that didn't work for, they only came in and expected an instant, results, and I was like, yo, it's been 4 days. No, it's not gonna work for you. You're not gonna see a complete change, but um, I do have some that have worked wonderfully and they've transitioned from the world of athletics into the real corporate world. And they're
Okay.
doing great in it. And I get calls like had one former client call me 2 weeks ago. I was on the road, we were talking, he's like, yo, coach, I just want to thank you for the determination you put into me, and you really helped me change my attitude, because he had the mindset before like, hey, this stuff doesn't work, so I'm gonna try something new. This doesn't work, man. I can't believe they yelled at me, man. I don't like it because they didn't come and tell me I was great. So giving them that intrinsic motivation versus the extrinsic, like, because people have to understand your motivation needs to come from within, not from the external things like fancy cars, nice shirts and stuff. It needs to be
Yeah.
something within. So that's what he and I worked on a lot. He had a lot of talent outside of sport, and we figured out how to lobby his sport connections to a
Hmm.
great career. And I know he left the world of higher ed. He's working in athletics, and we kept working on it. We had sessions once a week, and we would talk for like 45 minutes, going back and forth on what he need to get his mindset like and how to focus and stay in the gap, as I call it, to where
Okay.
the thoughts come into your mind, and instead of letting them distract you, you grab them and you put them on whatever shelf they got to go on, and you come back to the shelf later. You stay in the middle. And so we did a lot of zone training, how not to think too far ahead, how not to think in the past, because the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror. So, as a famous quote, well, I'm gonna say famous, but a quote I heard, and I can't take credit for, is like, "You never trip over something that's behind you. That's something that fools do." So because he was always one former well, he's not a former client, he's still my guy. So he talks about, he's always bring up the past and how a coach used to cuss at him all the time, and if he didn't run a certain time, or he didn't run a certain route, if he didn't catch a certain amount of balls, he got cursed out, he had to go run bleachers and stuff. So I talked to him a lot about, and you can do nothing about that. You can't go back and change what happened, but what you can do is focus on how great you are right now and enhance your strengths. And let's apply that to this, what we're doing now. And he's making over six figures now. He left a job where he was making 35,000. He's making over six figures now. So, and he's loving it. I got another guy who was a former athlete. He was like a bench rider on his back when he was an athlete, and he barely got in games, but he had so much love for sports. And when he graduated, got his degree in 4 years, he went off into the professional world of marketing. Great career for him, but he had a passion for sports. And now he has his own performance team, little league basketball team down in Texas. And he markets for them. He's gotten funding for this team. They travel, they play ball in different cities and states. And it really just took how to get him to focus on something that he loved, which is sports and helping others, intrinsic motivation, and how to take his skill set and apply it to something and monetize it pretty much.
Wow, I feel like you're really talking to me because, you know, at first I never saw myself in the media world
Hmm.
until I joined the team of KLEK, the radio station that I volunteer with. And now that I have a podcast and I have other ventures, I'm like, okay, what else can I do? But how can I find, create balance, um, organize my priorities, that motivation you talked about, the tenacity. How can I keep going when things don't look good? How can um, I hate to say roll with the punches, in
Hmm.
essence, roll with the punches. And I try to apply that to my life. How can I be more disciplined and adjust my attitude, increase my knowledge, while I'm on this journey, while I'm trying to get to wherever it is that I don't want to say final stop. I don't ever want to stop. Like, I don't ever want to say, okay, this is it. This is
You
the
never
end.
stop. You stop when you stop breathing. That's what I say.
Yes.
That's when you stop. So like life is an eternal growth until it's done. Like it's a never ending growth until it's just done. So that's why I live by the quote I said, like, the day you stop learning is the day you start dying, because there's always something you can learn. There's the more you learn, the more you grow.
Okay.
And a lot of that has to do with your surroundings, the people, um, whether that be the artists you listen to, the the authors you read, the podcasts you listen to yourself, the shows you watch, the people you talk to, the people who you interact with in person, that they all feed into you. And if they're all like stagnant, then so are you. If they're all negative, then so are you. You find me 9 turkeys and you're the 10th turkey. So like, you find me 9 eagles, you're the 10th eagle. So you
Yes.
can't soar hanging around a bunch of penguins that can't fly.
Yeah.
So you have to look at, and a lot of people when they hear this, like, oh, my 10 favorite friends, like, it's more than your friends. It's your shows, it's your music, it's your podcast, it's everything that you take in. It all impacts you.
Most definitely. And I think about, okay, let me ask you this. And I'm sorry if we've already touched on it, but it just came to mind again about, so when you're on the field or when you're practicing or running, heavy out here, running plays, or I'm just gonna say practicing for lack of a better word, because
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm just new to sports.
Good.
But you're on the field and you're by yourself, and maybe you have headphones in or not, and it's kind of quiet, and you're just running drills. um, and so, do you feel that that's a great time also to tap into that inner part of yourself and not just think about the sport at hand, but also what's happening around me in my real life?
Hmm.
Like, just really use that time to think and sort and just, I don't know.
I get what you're saying. Like, so it depends on the person. Some people I actually encourage that for, others I don't,
Okay.
because some people, they get trapped in their thoughts when they're
Oh,
home. So it may not be good for them, because like they may get into that thought and then the drill screwed up. They don't practice the drills properly. So
okay.
others, the drill can be something to make them focus on it. Like, say if your drill is doing high knees, just raise your knee up to the height of your hip. And with every knee raise, you're thinking about those steps toward your goal in life. Like, say if one of your goals is to like build an airplane or become an engineer, you can think about the different things you're building as you pump your arms up like this or something. So you can have a drill that connects to whatever your goal is, and that's visualization. So it depends on the person. If they're
Okay.
not good at like staying locked in, I'd rather them to like zone out like that when they're in their room before they go out to do the drills. And that's what they use their visualization as. So when you want to zone out like that and just stay focused and just think in depth about what's next or what's life or what's my goal, that's what
Okay.
visualization is very good for you and everything. So I really enjoy it. That's what I kind of take with it. Depends on the person.
All right. And so another thing I want to get to, in a previous conversation before we got here, you mentioned about opening a sports center. A performance center. Let me see. Is that still in the works? A sports performance center.
So that's what Take One is. We're opening it up
Okay.
actually this month. You got a new building that's being built out. I just went and checked
Okay.
on it yesterday. The walls just got painted. You got to put the toilets in. You know, we need those. So
Yeah.
we're very excited. The garage is full of equipment to put in there. So that should be rocking and rolling. I think we're going to have like a grand opening after the 1st of November with a soft opening, hopefully at the end of this month around maybe right before Halloween or something.
Okay.
So we secured the location, which is the first time we've been able to do this in all the years that I've been going back and forth using other people's facilities. We finally have our own. So we're pretty excited about it. And we're going to offer some other things like core classes and we're working with people to do like maybe a hip hop aerobics class to bring something like that into Jonesboro. You know, so we got a lot of things on the plate for it.
Okay. Now, are you open to partnerships with, say, other organizations that already have an established, say, youth group, youth membership? Because, again, my mind is always thinking.
Mhm.
People tell me I'm the queen of questions, the queen of ideas, um, but my concern is for the youth population, especially the teenage
Mhm.
population of our community, and also the 18 to 25. It's
Mhm.
like, I feel like if they had more to do that was positive and uplifting, um, they would either one stay out of, possibly stay out of trouble. Um, they would be more empowered to rise above whatever circumstance in life they're in. I'm going to be doing a conversation soon about basically the tug of war between nurture versus nature. So I would like to see more of our young people serviced, I guess if that's the right word, involved in programs that can help them get outside of themselves and kind of break away from possibly becoming a statistic or
Mhm.
a stereotype, falling into the stereotypes just based on who they are, where they live, their demographic, their socioeconomic status, et cetera, et cetera. Um, Even though there might be students who grow up in two-parent families, they still may face issues that go unspoken. And so
Mhm.
they may just need an outlet as well. So,
Right.
anyway, long story short, going back to our question, are you willing to do any kind of partnerships with people?
Yes. Yes, we are very open to any partnership that's going to be beneficial to our youth and just our community in general. Partnerships is something that I feel like everybody needs to do to grow because you look to impact lives. So you can't do that by yourself. So, yes, we are extremely open to making any partnerships we can.
All right. So definitely going to be looking out for that. And anytime you
No,
post something, of course, I'll be your number one supporter. It was
nice.
aside from your wife and family and all that, but
We
I'll be right
appreciate it.
behind.
We
Be right behind.
appreciate it.
And so, okay, do you have a website where people can go check you out, register for class courses, um, Facebook page, any other social media pages in the works?
So yes, the website is not done yet, and it's under construction. We're building it up. The Facebook page, we look to have them both ready next week. So
Okay.
I've been trying to get some photos, but when they're building a building, it's kind of hard. So I'm gonna just have to get creative. So I'm gonna make some other ones. We have the prices and stuff pretty much picked out, the packages. Pretty much just trying to get it all set up. So we look to have the website done next week. Also, as you know, being in graduate school is kind of tough to be doing all this stuff at the same time. So I'm wrapping up my prospectus this week as well. I just turned it in, so hopefully the methodologist likes what he saw. So trying to do
Look,
all this.
you are a mogul and like you got it going on, a lot going on. A
Couldn't do it by
lot.
myself. If it wasn't for my family, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. So like that's why I always say we because it's never me about me alone. So
That's amazing. And your children are going to grow up and see, like, okay, dad and mom put all this work and energy into making a better world for us.
hmm
Not just for the people that you serve, your clients, but for your children as well.
right.
And, we all pray that our children appreciate what the foundation we've laid out for them. And I can't say that I know your family that well. I haven't got to meet the babies that much, but I feel like they will appreciate mom and dad and all that you all have done for them to create a better future for them as well.
Definitely, definitely.
All right, so let's talk about if people, not if, when they get ready to register and all this good stuff.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the payment aspect. Do you take insurance, self pay? Like, how does it all work?
We take it all pretty much. Just depends
Okay.
on the product. We take insurance. We got that worked out as well. So if your insurance covers it, that's fine. Um, Everything else is pretty much done digitally through online. Like if you only do cash, we do make exceptions for that because I know some people don't deal with cards and plastic. So I've
Hmm.
worked with a lot of different people in the world. So in today's society, so we're very flexible for anybody. So we want to
Okay.
serve as many people and demographics as we can. Trust me, when the prices post, they're very affordable. I do know
Okay.
the market that we're in, but honestly, we just really want to make it where people can do it. Yes, of course, we try to make a living, but
Yes.
we want people to be able to afford it and still have a life. So it's not all about how much can we get from it. It's about how many lives can we help change. You know,
That's it right there.
so,
And I really pray that people take advantage of it. I'm one, in my early 20s, I just kind of lived life.
yeah.
I didn't appreciate the body that I had and the health that I had.
Hmm.
Then I was living life, just living, drinking sodas, eating chips, and
Yeah.
like being reckless with a lot of other aspects of my life. And
It's
like,
a lot of people, a lot of us.
and then 30 hit and I'm married, and it's like, ooh, okay, it's time to settle down and get serious about this thing. Then 40 hit, I was like, oh,
40 hits
okay.
still different than 30. I know that.
Yeah. Okay, no more games. Time out for playing. Okay. Yeah, and you really, if you don't have a handle on your mind, body, and soul by at least 40, it's gonna be, it's not
Rough.
impossible, but it's gonna be a little harder. Yes, it's gonna be
No
definitely
doubt.
rough.
You're gonna need some tenacity for the rest of it. And that's where the one comes in. And like what you're speaking on is you got one life. So and that's why one of the slogans we got is like make it count. You really
Yes.
have this one life. There is no like turning back the clock, and that's why I tell people there's no need to worry about something in the past, because it really you may have to have a consequence. Everything you do has a consequence.
Mm,
Some are more dire than others, but you can't change it. You may deal with the consequences of it, but you cannot change what happened.
no.
So the best thing you can do is focus on right now in order to have a tomorrow or to work and improve for tomorrow.
Yes. Yes, indeed. All right, y'all. So thank you, Mr. Jason Brooks, for joining me, for being my very special guest. Again, the company is Take One. Stay tuned from the time of this recording. Stay tuned for the website and Facebook page.
Mhm.
But go follow Mr. Brooks on Facebook and stay up to date. Follow, like, share, all that jazz. Y'all know how we do.
You can find
And
me on Instagram at jbrooks take1 as well.
okay, Jay Brooks Take One on Instagram. So look, go follow. I ain't saying stalk, but go follow.
I just want to thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been a blast as always.
Yes, I enjoy our conversations, and hopefully, it won't be a couple of years
I know, right?
before we have another conversation because I really want to hear some updates on your clients, and I hope to be a client at some point too.
Hey, you know how to find me. Hey, you know how to reach out to me. So whatever we can
Yes,
do to help you out, we got you.
yes, sir. So, before we go, would you like to give some kind of ending, closing statement about just increasing your performance on and off the field, mind, body, and soul, and however you want to package that up?
I would say just honestly, don't make any excuse for yourself. Because at the end of the day, the energy you put into making an excuse for not doing something, that same energy and effort could be put into how to get it done. So instead of complaining or finding a reason not to, find a solution, find a way. There's always a way. Didn't say it's going to be easy, didn't say it's going to be instantaneous. I like to call it the OPP. You have the outcome, you have the performance goals, and you have the process.
Mm,
Stick to the process, the journey. And truly, if you embrace the journey, you will grow more and you will appreciate the outcome even more versus trying to get quick rich. That type of stuff never works.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you. And look, abs are not made in a day. Just
No,
put
they're
that out
not kept in a day either. Trust me.
So put that out there. Look. All right. So you all get your mind, body, and soul in sync. If you need a little extra help, go find Mr. Jason with Take One. And I thank you again so much for your time. Thank you all for supporting the Q Spot podcast. Go follow, like, subscribe on all the platforms, do all the things, y'all. And if you would like to be a guest, please email me at the email address listed below. If you would like to be a sponsor, please, also email me. Thank you very much and hope to catch y'all next time. Don't forget to be intentional. Bye.
Nice.
Thank you for watching the Q Spot podcast video series. Don't forget to join the Q crew so you don't miss a beat. Follow, like, and share on all of my social media platforms as well as the major podcast platforms. Lastly, be intentional with your words, your thoughts, and your actions.